Praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on any smart device at David G. Evans, the number one, David G. Evans 1. We want to ask you to do us a favor today. Won't you like and subscribe to us so you won't miss one moment of these dynamic conversations we're having with you and for you, as we bring a biblical perspective to those things that are occurring around us nationally, internationally, regionally, and sometimes locally. We look forward to being a biblical insight for you as we always discuss these items, these events, these things that impact your life from day to day. We discuss them from a biblical perspective, always from that foundation. We believe that we should be like the Issacharians in the Old Testament. We should understand the times. But that's not enough. We should know exactly what to do, and God's Word gives us the instructions for how we should navigate life events, ups and downs, mountains and valleys, all those normal life events that we find ourselves facing today. So would like us and subscribe to us and share with as many people as follow you. Why don't you share with those that are on your feed? Ask them, invite them this morning to join us for this conversation. Our call-in numbers are toll-free, of course, 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. 866-74-EVANS. You can give us a call. We'd love to speak with you about a variety of subjects. Now, our world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas Smith, is here. We're fresh off a wonderful night. Of worship. We began a series of worship services last night that you will be able to see. I believe Thanksgiving Day, you'll be able to watch it over and over again as we felt the Lord and watched the Lord do a tremendous work in us as we gathered together, a very small group, transformed this platform into a room, and then worshiped the Lord, and the Spirit of God moved in a tremendous way. We want to thank our pastor of creative fine arts, Pastor Tyrus Bush, Reverend Tyrus Bush, for doing a tremendous job. All of you that came out to be with us last night. We're going to have another event. With the way that this one progressed, I began to understand while we were in the midst of the meeting, in the midst of the service, in the midst of worship, that God was going to do something greater with this thing going forward. We're looking forward to it. And how you doing this morning, man?
I'm okay.
You know, it was really odd. One of our harvest pastors, one of our harvest bishops called me yesterday, and he was talking about having a similar type of situation for the year-end harvest meeting.
Okay.
Combining, and he didn't know anything about what we were doing, combining some of the ministers of music who have been coming to the quarterly meetings, and some of their singers and dancers to have what he was hope would be for our end of the year Christmas celebration, a wonderful worship experience, and then go over and fellowship in the dinner and all that good stuff. So
cool.
I was I'm not that spooky anyway, but I when he started talking about it, I'm saying, okay, he doesn't know anything about what we're doing tonight. And it was just a great time last night.
It was.
What really helped me, encouraged me, was that the number of members that were here, but the number of guests that came.
Yep.
You know, it was quite edifying.
It was good. Good. They did a good job. Tyrus, Crystal, and Maya all kind of got together and did their part to make it work.
Yeah.
It's going to air Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving.
Day before Thanksgiving.
Because we were off that night.
Okay.
So that'll be our filler for.
Okay. For the night, for the service.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was good.
Are they going to run it again on Thursday?
They can. They can run it Thursday morning.
Yeah. That would be, because Thanksgiving's a busy time for a lot of people, preparation time.
Yeah.
And could run it, morning, noon, and night or something like that, because people are not going to be able to be glued to the TV, but they can listen as it's going on.
Oh yeah, they'll be cooking and listening to it. I do it too. Cooking and watching stuff.
Yeah. So it's a day of attention, but divided attention because preparation. 866-743-8267. 866-743-8267. 866-74-EVANS. Why don't you give us a call and join our conversation now? I don't know where we should start. So the Israel situation has heated up. Of course, there are a lot of opinions about how Israel should be handling this situation. And I think those of us that are on the outside are in a position to have an opinion, but it's going to be radically different most of the time than the people who are actually living this thing out. I wonder if, and I don't know how to say this other than just say it, our national acceptance of daily mass shootings around our country has caused an expectation that is similar to ours, which is killing after killing. All we do is have a conversation.
Mm-hmm. That's all it is at this point.
Like the conversation to our national violence, and they say there's 1.3, almost 2 mass shootings a day in the United States, that there are more killings on a mass level, 4 more people, than there have been days in the year. But our response consistently has been talk.
Yeah.
Do we expect other people to react to this thing like we do?
No, they're going to just keep talking.
Yeah.
The powers that be going to keep things as normal.
That's what we expect to happen. Don't do anything about it. Just have a conversation.
Yeah. They have given us the proper expectation for their behavior.
Okay.
Because they've already set a precedent.
Yeah.
So
consistently. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That you just have to expect people to be who they are because you know it's not going to change.
The other piece of that is that conversation is not always the proper response to violence. I think when in a situation of 9/11, it wasn't time after they bombed the trade centers. People had to take the plane down in Pennsylvania after the plane crashed into the Pentagon, which Marjorie Taylor Greene said never happened. We didn't respond to Osama bin Laden with conversation.
But, Lord, that was an outside agent.
Okay.
And a person of a different hue. So, an outside terrorist looks different than the terrorists that are American, because we've seen American terrorism from its own citizens.
Yeah.
And the response is not
conversation.
You know, or sometimes it's just one radical.
Yeah.
Not this group.
No. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, we have, as Americans, have a tendency to all of a sudden have nuance.
But our response, when
it's a domestic terrorist versus an international.
Our response was to invade another country and kill him.
Yes.
So we weren't talking.
No.
We weren't.
I get that. It's just.
I think when they crashed the plane into the trade center, they actually initiated a conversation.
No,
You know, you don't walk up to Raina and slap her in the face and then turn to me and said, "I did that because I want to have a conversation with you, Bishop." No. And you cannot tell me how to respond.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
It's the contradiction that I have with our country and how we deal with different people based off different situations.
But the world's expectation, well, the United States expectation seems to be, Israel, you ought to be ready to have a conversation with them. And I understand that, but I also understand Israel's response. And I don't think we're allowed today to see both sides of a situation.
See, this is where I have trouble. They're not slowing down. And looking at all the innocent lives that are dying. I'm on the side of the people. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that you got babies, people that have nothing involved in this.
Absolutely.
On both sides.
Absolutely.
And if Hamas is slowing down, I wonder. I thought about this last night. This is purely speculative.
Okay.
Could Hamas have started this to get the response? This is the type of response.
Absolutely.
So Israel will look like the bad guy.
Absolutely, it did.
But also, is Israel playing a little bit into that because they're aggressively?
Well, here's the problem. So
continuing.
So you do something because you expect that world international pressure will cause you not to respond in any significant way. But you've got a group of people that have decided this in their bylaws. We need to kill every Jew possible. So that's a different element. They're committed to this problem. The other problem I think that they have is that every time there's a ceasefire, it appears as though Hamas prepares for another attack. And it becomes more and more difficult to handle the attack every time and to do something more egregious. I believe you wholeheartedly. I think part of this was, let's see how the world reacts. We'll get the support from the world. Israel won't do. But by the time Israel slows down, I'm not sure they're going to have anywhere to live.
Understood. And also from the Palestinian side, I'm talking about the people, not those who were in charge.
Yeah.
At what point do they obliterate the whole group of Palestinians? You get what I'm saying? Again, I'm on the side of the people because I'm kind of sick of all this governmental stuff that's affecting innocent people.
Right.
And I don't have an answer. It's complex.
It's extraordinarily complex.
But I don't like, as well as many people see it, so many babies on both sides.
Absolutely.
Dying in this thing.
Absolutely.
And, it's complex.
Unfortunately for us today, there is no clear-cut, correct answer or way to respond to this. Because I'm sure if a group did to us what was done to us before, we're going to go do what has to be done. And innocent people, innocents that were not involved in the attack, are going to be hurt. I don't think I think America wants a clean response to these things. And I don't know if it's possible to have a clean response to them.
Well, at this point, is it okay to say let's slow up some, have our intelligence be on guard, have some way to work this out, and we're ready just in case?
I'm not sure that if you have a dedicated enemy, there is a way to work it out peacefully.
Well, I get that because they're going to respond again. But I'm saying, is there a way to, for instance, we went into Iraq, went into Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's kind of different scales.
Yeah.
We didn't go in there and just blow everybody up.
No.
We had to drop some missiles and stuff.
We did do that shock and awe thing. Remember that?
What? Which part?
Bush did the shock and awe. That means they dropped bombs on everything, everywhere.
Yeah.
They told the folk they were going to. I think the difference this time is that according to what they're saying, that Hamas has mixed itself in with the population, which puts, here's the dilemma. So Ray Chan, Olivia, and Julian are playing. And some bad kids infiltrate them. So we don't change the activity, and the bad kids stay protected. That's what they're dealing with. So I think it's an untenable position to be in, where the enemy hides among the innocent people, which is clearly a method of keeping the attack away. You're not going to come at us because of this. So here's Israel now. All right, do we go in and get them? Or do we, basically let them get away with this because innocent people are in the way? That's the dilemma from a national point of view.
got that. I'm trying to see the here. It's like here it is. It's back to like we saw with the Taliban and all those.
Yep.
You're fighting an ideology, and you really can't go to war with an ideology because, like you said, there are people. It's not like one central figure.
It's not clean.
That if you stop this one person,
it's not clean.
It's an ideology.
Yeah.
And learning how to, again, it's hard. How can we do this as clean as possible without sacrificing too many unnecessary fatalities?
I'm not sure, and you're a better historian than I am. I'm not sure we've ever been involved in any war, United States, where innocents were not killed.
Oh no, it happens.
Yeah, and the objective a lot of times, what they call collateral damage.
Collateral damage. Yeah.
The objective outweighs the collateral damage in some people's minds, in military minds. But what I think we're used to, you like a lot of historic movies, I do too. And even though those historic battles are like Thermopylae and all those, they're epic, but they're cleaner than this because the soldiers fight the soldiers. Yeah. But those are not in scope the total reality of how real wars are fought. Sure. And when you're dealing with, I think what makes this so hurtful in the eyes of Americans is that we are used to not having warfare in our neighborhoods, of like military type warfare, and we have this. We have an unrealistic view of how war is fought, because in my lifetime, we might have had attacks on our soil, but we've never had a war on our soil. I'm 71 years old, and so I've never seen a war. You've never seen a war, where we were all hunkered down in our houses, and that hasn't happened. So there's no real clean preferred way to do this. Now, from what I understand, the latest reports is that Israel has made these what they're calling vacuums, these time periods. Okay, you can move out. We're getting ready to do this. Move out of the way. But I don't think, based on the initial attack, I don't think they're in the mindset to stop yet.
Okay.
I mean, how do you behead babies in the street and then tell us we want to talk?
Completely got that.
Yeah,
I completely got that.
I don't think they're ready yet.
I think like there was one point where Israel's hands not totally clean in all this either.
Of course not.
So they, if I'm correct, I think it was last week or week before, they allowed a safe passage for people to go out, and they bombed the safe passage.
I didn't hear that one.
It's like, I mean, I'm gonna verify, but I read something about it. I'm gonna look at it more. But
that was refuted. They didn't say, okay, you guys, come on through, and boom.
No, I'm sure something might have happened.
Yeah, but it didn't happen like that. Yeah, they mad, but I don't think they're crazy yet. But they get now. Look, I understand their rage. I really do, and I try to equate things on a personal level.
Sure.
You break into my house. You try to hurt my kids.
Yes.
You started the conversation with me. I'm not going to invite you. Let's have some tea and see if we can work this out. I'm not going to do that. No rational human being is going to have that kind of assault. I know you pretty well. Anybody try to invade your space, you're going to defend it the best way you know how.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to bomb people next door.
We're using a personal.
Right.
We're using a personal.
Yeah.
Now, if you found out the neighbors were involved, you might go next door.
That's a different story.
You might go next door.
That's a different story. So, I mean,
it's not clean.
It's not clean. And
it's
again,
not a clean
because you're fighting the ideology.
Right.
So, if you're usually they would go in if they could take over the government, and then that way is more of a cleaner.
But it's not going to happen.
But again, because
it's going to be a fight either way.
It's an ideology.
Right.
You could take over the government, but you got all these people.
But people are attached to ideologies. And when you have ideological wars, I find that innocent people, because the whole point of terror is to attack innocent people.
Yeah, I know.
Terrorists don't usually attack armies. They attack people that have nothing to do with the fight.
Yeah.
And that's why it's supposed to spread terror.
Yeah.
So there's a psychological method to that too. We've got Scott in Vinyl, we got Kevin in Cedarville, we got Tom in Florida. You can give us a call 866-743-8267 866-743-8267. What you got?
But this is what I was talking about.
Okay.
One of them was Israel did admit they bombed an ambulance outside
of
God.
But they said why they did. Wait a minute. That's not the whole report. They were transporting Palestinian terrorists back and forth in the ambulance. That's why they bombed it.
But it affected everybody.
Absolutely, because bombs are not clean.
But again,
here's the thing.
It's a hard situation.
I keep saying it's not clean. Yeah. So what did they decide to do? Did they decide to let them transport these guys back and forth through an ambulance, or did they decide to stop them?
I didn't see that anywhere. But
I
might happen.
I heard it 5 times.
Okay.
I read it 5 times. Okay. I saw it 5 times.
Okay.
There is no American view of this that's going to satisfy us.
Sure.
And the other thing I think is really significant is when I'm looking at the conflict, not only do they fight, watch this. Israeli citizens went home and got their guns, man, because they're all in the army. There was no, we're conscientious objecting. Somebody attacked us, we're going to war. Yeah. So they obviously have a different way of looking at this thing than we do. Yeah. Because we'd have a bunch of people protesting in the streets talking about you messing with my rights, asking me to go fight people.
Yeah. Now, I'm reading here where Israel didn't give no evidence to support that they were transported.
What are you reading?
I'm reading from different articles. I'm going to different ones, not the one.
Okay. Because
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just asking.
No. Look, I don't know who's right or wrong because we're not.
I'm just throwing it. I'm asking.
We're not over there. Okay. But I know that as I've watched both sides of the news, because I look at the crazy sites too.
Sure.
Both of them are purporting things that blame the other, which is exactly what happens in a war.
Absolutely.
When we were in Vietnam, I don't know how old were you when we were in Vietnam.
I think alive in Vietnam.
Okay, so I was in my 20s.
That was in the 60s, right?
Yeah, I was in my 20s, teens.
Or 60 or 70s.
I was in my teens and 20s.
Yeah, my mom was born in 58, so yeah.
Teens and 20s. Okay. So in Vietnam, we did some bad stuff. 2 innocent people.
In a losing effort, too.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
People want to talk about that.
I don't know why, I get you getting, defeated outside your home. But you can't come in the jungle where I live and think you're going to have an advantage over me. It's just not going to happen.
People that know what's going on.
It's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No, it's just not going to happen. It's like coming in my house and not knowing I already have kill zones.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I know.
I ain't backing up because I'm scared. I'm trying to get you in a place where I can't miss you.
Exactly.
Come on, man. So we made a huge mistake, but we did some bad things while we were there. And people protested. The protests were incredibly large and passionate.
Yeah.
But the American soldiers had to adjust the environment that they were in. And the Vietnamese were using all kinds of tactics. Yeah. It was a street fight. It wasn't a Marquis to Queensberry round. We like corporate fights where there's rules. Yeah. We're watching a street fight.
Yeah. And that's what this will feel like.
There are no rules.
Yeah. And going back to that ideology thing, how do you defeat an ideology?
You got to defeat the people attached to it.
Yeah, and that's like you said. But if they're infiltrated, you don't know.
Nope. There's the issue.
You don't know what's going on.
There's the issue. So this was wonderful.
It was.
866-743-8267 866-743-8267. We've come to the conclusion that there is no real clean answer. Okay. Let's go to Scott. Yo, Scott, how you doing?
Bishop Evans, Pastor Nick, what's happening over there?
Man, we're having a good time as always.
Yeah, that's Bishop.
We had a good time as always, man. How you doing this morning? What's going on?
Not too bad. Feeling pretty good for old man.
Okay. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Did you have a birthday or something, Scott?
Not yet. In March.
And
I'll be 54.
Oh, 54? 54?
Yes, sir. Man, how time flies, Bishop. I just still look back on our time.
Yeah, man, when you were running around getting in trouble at church.
Oh, that was Leon. That was Leon.
Oh, you gonna blame Leon now?
So pass the buck. Real quick. I know the elections are fast approaching. I need to know a lot of people, Bishop. You probably do, Pastor Nick. Just my question to you is, have you heard anything who's going to be maybe running for governor? Because Mr. Murphy's got a few more months. I guess also, if I can ask, we know Mr. Cory Booker is a very intelligent man. Do you maybe ever seen him running for governor?
I think Cory could run for governor, and he would do a phenomenal job. He did a tremendous job in Newark, and I understand he's doing a great job in Washington. I think Cory would make a good governor. I don't know if he's running for that. And the reason you may not have heard anything like that, Scott, is because I think a presidential run is in Cory's future.
Okay.
And I've thought that for the last 8 years or so.
Okay.
That he was. I thought it was too early for him to run when President Obama was coming out of office.
Right.
But he's extraordinarily intelligent.
Yes, he is.
He's very balanced. He has a real good connection with his history and his past, but he's got a real eye for the future. So he's an individual who, again, has an enormous amount of qualifications and qualities that are not asked for in other candidates.
Right.
But I think he would make an excellent governor, but I'm not sure he'd want to give up his seat to be governor. Now, New Jersey is considered one of the training grounds for governors that want to do something nationally, because the state is like a country within the state. So there are some things that give, our state police is like a small army. Our way of governing, the state itself, is so homogenous that it seems to be a microcosm of the entire nation. You've got a multiplicity of nationalities that live in New Jersey. You've got multiplicity of industries that are in New Jersey. You've got multiplicity of faiths that are in New Jersey. So when you look at it, education system is rated one of the highest in the country at this present time. So there's some things in New Jersey that give a politician who's sitting in the governor's seat a national feel because of the way the state is comprised. I hope that wasn't too much information.
No.
Okay,
No, it's some knowledge that you're giving us, of course.
Yeah.
We don't know. My last thing, it may seem petty, but I know when Leon comes up, he fusses about the plastic bag ban. I said, well, try dealing with it every day. Do you actually see what we're getting out of this ban?
Plastic bag ban?
Yeah, because it gets annoying. Me and Nia go to the store and be like, darn it.
I see. I just like to know who cut the deal for the guys that are making the bags.
Yeah.
Because when those plastic bags went away and we were basically pushed towards these other bags, I don't know about you, but every time I go to the store, I forget to bring a bag. And what's even crazier about that is I have bags in my car.
Gotta leave them in the car. Yep.
And I forget to bring them in the
store. Yeah.
Come on, man.
I looked at Nia and I said, look, we are not going. It's cold out there, but we'll just have to transport everything when we get home.
They're asking too much for that delivery stuff in most cases. People are paying like 30% of their bill for food to get delivered to their house.
Yeah, I'm not doing all that.
I'm going to the store.
I'm going to the store.
I'm not staying long.
Yeah, I ain't going.
But I'm not paying DoorDash.
Nah, I ain't doing.
No, that's 35%. That's when I jump on. I got an electric scooter. That's why I'll jump on that bad boy.
35%, man.
Going to the
Even
store.
like Chick-fil-A. They'll order Chick-fil-A and the driver delivery fee costs more than food.
Absolutely.
It's like,
you end up paying $35-$40 for a chicken sandwich.
Right? Like, are you serious?
Come on, man.
Yep. I look like Bill Bixby and start hitchhiking down the highway.
But it's the Wawa method. And it's the corner store method. I will pay a little higher for the inconvenience. And Wawa has proven that, and it's a very, very successful retail operation. You pay a little more because it's right there. In a lot of neighborhoods, you can walk to the store.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like we used to do a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
They know psychology, people.
Well, that's all I have, guys. Take care.
You do. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye. 866-743-8267. It's 9:31. We should be coming up on a break in about 30 seconds. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. We're coming back with Kevin and Tom right after the break, and we'll see you.
At Bethany Church, we're excited to announce the launch of our new website, designed with you in mind. We understand that tithing and managing your giving can be a hassle, but our new website makes it easier than ever. Our website is mobile-friendly, making it easy for you to give on the go or during service, whether you are using your computer or mobile phone. Our website is fully responsive, ensuring a seamless user experience. You can easily give your tithes and offerings with just a few clicks, either as a one-time donation or set up a recurring donation. Recurring donations make it convenient for you to give regularly, so you never have to worry about forgetting. Make sure to include your envelope number when using the GiveLify app. Our website offers added security with a login feature, ensuring that your information is kept confidential. You can access your giving history at any time and keep track of your contributions throughout the year, or utilize our convenient text-to-give options to text your tithes on the go. At Bethany Church, we believe that giving is an act of worship, and our new website makes it more accessible than ever before. Visit gotobethany.com today and discover the power of giving with our new giving website. Thank you for your generosity.
That's the other.
Yeah.
2 years?
Yeah. We're back. This is On Point. I'm Bishop Dave Jevons, Reverend Nicholas Smith, and we're so glad you joined us today. Give us a call today. We love talking to you. We're going to Kevin from Cedarville. Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Good to hear from you.
You too. And hello to Pastor Nick
Hi.
as well.
Hello.
What's going on, girl?
Well, I'm so excited about last night. I did not know what to expect. All I know is I wanted to be in church on a Friday night.
Yes.
And I found out that I needed it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was apropos. And so my question is, what was the idea? What made you guys do this? And so I've been a member 4 years, so I've never seen anything like this. And has the church done it before?
We haven't done it in
Not
this
like that.
context. No, I think Pastor Nick might be a little bit more versed in. We are, as you can tell, Kevin, we are on a different trajectory. We're shifting to a different dimension, another dimension, a higher dimension. However you want to say it, but there's a radical transformation in the way that we are approaching God. And we've always had the word, we've always had phenomenal music, but what we're adding to this now is a worship element that we have not had before. And I think what you saw last night was a manifestation of the transformation that God is performing with the church, and it's in real time, Kevin. It's not theoretical. We're watching it happen on Sunday mornings. We're watching the salvation start to go through the roof again. We're watching the move of God. We're seeing people at the altar being healed in their answers to prayers. We're watching all this happen in this dimensional shift, spiritual dimensional shift that God is providing at this time. And I was thinking this morning, Pastor Nick, and Kevin, you may be, since you're out among the people, there are some people that are actually uncomfortable with the shift towards we've always been God-focused, but even more God-focused. There's some people that are uncomfortable, and this really kind of blows my mind, that saved folk would be uncomfortable with more of a God focus.
Wow.
That's amazing to me. And I think that what it happens is the discomfort is revealing what we may not know about worship, what we thought was worship, and now what our pursuit of God actually changes. And I had a couple of my peers tell me, one particularly the other day, Pastor Nick, that he said, "You sound so excited."
Wow.
And I said, "I am."
Yeah.
I am. He said, "But you're older than I am, Dave. I said, yeah, I know.
Right.
And I'm really excited about what God is doing. But it took an intentional, discerning decision that there is another step we need to take.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And unfortunately, even though it's God focused all day long, and it's scriptural and everything that we're doing, there's some people that are learning, and in the learning process, they've got a little discomfort until we mature into this whole new worship dimension that God is leading us into. And I'm just excited about what's happening.
Yeah. I think people. Go ahead, Kevin. Sorry.
That's okay. It reminds me of 20 years ago when 3 of my children were still home, and I was searching for another church. And a friend of mine found this church, and I said, look, it has to feed me, but it has to feed my children as well. And the other thing, and I ended up joining the church, but the other thing that comes to my mind is God has done so much in my life that I said, Lord, I can't contain my praise, and a lot of people are not going to understand it, but I have to be somewhere where there's freedom because it can't stay boxed up. I would be unhealthy if it stayed boxed up.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I really appreciated last night. I did not know what to expect. They said, we're going on the post. What? We're going to what? We're going to do what? not that I was afraid, but the expectation was different.
It was different.
And so, and I'm glad that it came out this way, that we did not know, because I think it allowed me and maybe some other people to just be real. And be free to worship, and and it was awesome. It fed me. I didn't know I needed it.
Well, here's the thing: when you use the word different, spiritual people often view a new move of God or God shifting with suspicion at first. That this is across the board. I've been doing this for 30-some years now. I've been saved since 1976. And in every situation I've ever been in, there's a portion of God's people that view the move of God, an authentic move of God, with some suspicion.
Wow.
Why? Because it disturbs the comfort zone. And all God is trying to do is grow his people into becoming true worshipers in spirit and in truth. And actually, this is why we've been doing this body language series. Because God doesn't suggest these things. He commands us, clap your hands. He commands us, lift your heads. He commands us, open your mouth, use your voice. He commands these things, raise your hands to the Lord. He commands these things. Why? Because God is teaching us how to communicate with him. And it's just so amazingly exciting to me that the people of God are shifting, getting a greater understanding, which is going to lead to greater growth and greater maturity, which is going to lead to a greater move of God in our lives individually. So, we are just, I'm excited about what God is doing for the people. And I'm excited about those who are allowing God to actually increase their ability to worship. So tell us, how did the idea come up, Pastor Nick? Do you know?
I believe Tyrus and them got together and started talking about creating these worship experiences. There's actually going to be more to it after a while. This is just the beginning part of it. And with online being so prevalent, we taped it for an in-person small experience, but it's going to look good online.
Absolutely.
But we're going to start doing these like worship nights where we worship that way, but you also have some of them will be like training times too. So the dancers will be in one place. The media people will be in one place. The music be in one place. Do their learning, do their creativity, come together and put it all together. So you got different people taking pictures, different people singing, different people doing X, Y, and Z. I thought came to my mind earlier, who was the preacher that had the painter while he was preaching?
Oh, that was
You know what I'm talking about.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Garlington. I wonder.
Joseph Garlington.
Bishop Garlington. I wonder how many, not saying we got to do that here, but how many creative people that can draw and paint can do that during worship.
I'm going to revive your memory.
Okay.
About 4 years ago, I had started to want that over on that side of the platform, of the altar, we would have someone either painting or sculpting while they were being led by God, while the whole worship service was going on.
Cool.
And I saw it at Joseph's Church 15 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
And basically waited for God to send us someone who could actually do that real time.
Yeah.
Interpret the Spirit of the Lord in the moment and paint or sculpt something while it was happening. I thought it would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned it again, because that was my heart's desire before we closed up for the pandemic.
Yeah. That'd be cool. I mean, because to me, we talk, worship is in many forms.
Absolutely.
So those people that can draw, can paint, even if they're doing stuff on the side, that can create murals and artwork for the church, and that's their worship.
That's right.
You know why that's phenomenal?
Yeah. Why?
You know how when we send our children to school, so many children are misunderstood, but they forget that everybody has a learning style. And I think that will witness to people that maybe can't listen to the word, or they get lost and get distracted. I think that's such a great idea. Oh my God!
I think what we try to do already is incorporate the different learning styles. Some people learn visually, some people learn by reading, some people learn by listening. And if you look visual, learning, listening, we try to incorporate those elements in just about every service that we have. Look at your Bible, graphics on the screen. Listen to what I'm saying. You got to hear this now. You got to hear this now. That whole piece, we're trying to cover that every time we come together. And then we add the artistic expression part to it. I think it's going to be another phenomenal leap, especially springing out of the worship intensity that God is allowing us to create.
Well, I was so blessed that
it was amazing to me.
When I signed up for it, sometime after that, I decided, I said, you know what? I live in Cedarville. I will not be going back home Friday night, so I'm going to stay in the area. So now I'm probably 15 minutes from church, and I'm loving it. So I just, in closing, I just want to say that I just appreciate the both of you, because you're not just pastors, but you're pastors when it's appropriate. And what I mean by that is when something's going on in my life, the word that you bring forth and the understanding that both you have, it ministers to me, and it's for me that time. I don't know if Pastor Nick shared with you, but I give him permission to. I had to call him. I shared with you last night, I have a new grandchild.
Yes.
And I needed prayer. I'm over here. We don't know how connected we are to our children's children.
Right.
And I needed prayer for that baby. And I'm here and there in Ohio. And I called Pastor Nick, and, he called me back. And I didn't expect that day, the same day, but he called me back, and it just reassured me and helped me through. So I just want to thank the both of you that you're always on time with the word and how you minister to me.
That's what we try to do, Kev.
I'm grateful.
That's what we try to do.
And I love both of you.
God bless you, girl.
Yes, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.
All right now. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
That was Kevin from Cedarville. We're going to Tom from Fort Lauderdale. Good morning, Tom. How you doing, man?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor Nick?
Good to hear your voice, man. You doing good today? Uh-oh, you coughing again, Tom?
That time of year.
I'm good. Bishop, I feel guilty right now.
Okay.
And you guys sound like you had a great night last night.
We did, man.
And I'm calling in with doom and gloom.
It was wonderful last night, man. It was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
What was cool, Tom, is that not only were our members here, but guests who were not members of the church came. That either they heard the announcement on television, or on the internet or something, but they came. So we had a mixed crowd last night. And then the way they shuffled the singers in and out, I thought showed our versatility, showed the level of talent and commitment our people have, and the harmony. You know what I was listening to, though. The harmonies and all were just, I thought, quite innovative and quite. It was just good time.
Yeah.
You can watch it. Great. You can watch it when.
It's going to be on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
That
night.
The 22nd.
22nd that night. You'll be able to check it out.
It sounds like a great time.
Yeah. So what are you talking about in Florida, man?
I was talking about the Middle East.
Okay, go ahead.
We're kind of quiet this week, but the thing with Netanyahu, I think these terrorists, he's fallen into their trap, as you were saying. Mm-hmm. And they got the right guy to fall into the trap. He's aggressive. He's going after him. Mm-hmm. And I think they actually want him to look like the bad guy, and it's succeeding.
Mm-hmm. It's what's weird to me is that the international consciousness seems to be like a kid who forgets they hit you first. I don't know how we expected internationally for Israel to respond to that initial assault. I don't know what we expected them to do, Tom.
Yeah, and when you said something earlier too about how the Israelis come out of the woodworks with guns and ready to go because they've all been trained. Mm-hmm. I was looking up. There are less than 10 million people in Israel. Compare that to New York City, which has almost 9 million. Mm-hmm. The city of New York has almost as many people as the whole country of Israel.
Yep.
They have to come out and defend themselves when they go at it.
Mm-hmm. That's why and it's amazing to me, Pastor Nick and Tom, how each house can be armed with military-style weapons, and you don't hear the nonsense going on that you hear in the United States. Yeah. They're not walking up and down the street killing each other.
People and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I think he took a leap of faith with the way they're going.
I like we've been saying all morning, there is no clean response to this, but I think they felt like they had to respond. And whether the Palestinians were Hamas was willing to sacrifice people to get the response, all that's wrong. It's just all, we hope there could have been another way, but our hopes are not changing the situation as it has been for hundreds of years.
Yep.
In that region. So we're watching people fight for different reasons and more intense ideologies and for their actual survival. They're not fighting because you got to wear a mask. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's amazing to me. Yeah,
Americans talk a lot of trash, but
we do. Damn. Yeah.
I want to leave on a good note.
Okay.
Did you see the phenom in San Antonio?
The what?
Oh, the young guy. Wembley.
I heard.
What's his name? How you say his name?
Dude is bad.
Whatever his name is.
He scored 38 points.
I heard.
He took Kevin Durant to school.
Yeah. He took Durant to school?
Twice. I'm talking, they played him earlier in the week. They said, maybe Durant had a bad night. Thursday night, came back, did it all over again.
Yeah.
They say he's bad.
He's bad. He's good. And Durant had a good game.
Did he?
Yeah. But it's hard to beat 7'1", lanky.
And can do everything Durant can do.
7'4", yeah.
He can do everything Durant can do. Mm-hmm. Shoot the three, drive to the basket. He can pass. He can do.
Yeah.
And he's young.
And Durant's comment was, he's a skinny guy like me, and he's here.
Yeah. I think it took him a minute to get used to the American style.
Sure.
It's a little more aggressive. Once he got used to it, he'll be fine.
Yeah, but Durant is a rail.
Yeah.
But he's more of a rail when he came into the league.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was.
He was almost invisible, man.
Yeah.
But he could play.
Now, help me out here. What was interesting, the guys back in the day, like Wilt Chamberlain and all them, they were muscular.
Yeah, they were
tall.
big guys, man.
These guys are a little more lean.
Yeah. They're linear. They're linear.
But when Wilt first came out, he was called Wilt to Still.
Wilt to Still, yeah.
Because he was small, too.
He was small. Then he packed on that muscle.
Yeah, he was small.
Yeah.
But he was deadly when he was small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
if you think about it, Tom, Pastor Nick, Wilt probably was the first 7-footer that was built like a string bean at first.
Yeah.
But he had tremendous strength for his size.
Yes. Yep.
So he was always strong, and he was a great athlete. High jump, sprinter, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think he did all kind of stuff out in West Philly. He had a couple of records.
Oh yeah.
I think he has a stupid record. I think he has a record for holding 2 bowling balls out for the longest carry out from, just holding them arms stretched.
He was appropriately strong. He was appropriately strong for a man his size.
Yeah.
But then he had a little extra strength too.
Yep.
He was every now and then it appears as though God decides I'm going to touch that person
and make him
And I believe I think LeBron James is
he's unique.
Another one of those people.
Yeah, he takes care of himself too.
And, he helps himself, but every now and then God just says, okay, I'm going to touch you.
Yeah.
You're going to be faster. You're going to be stronger. I'm going to give you a combination of things. He does that with people, animals. Yep. I mean, every now and then he just says, I think I'll show off just a little bit.
Give you some.
Because LeBron's been in the league like 20-some years.
Yeah, and he's still going good. He's still going.
And they say, if he's 22 years or something like that, he's still doing like 20-some-odd points a game, 9 assists, so-and-so. And the guys say he takes supreme care of himself.
Oh, he spends over $1 million a year to take care of his body.
Well, if you're making $100 million a year, that's a good investment.
Yeah, very much.
Praise the Lord.
Another part is if you load management too, that helps out.
Well,
that load management thing kind of gets me with this generation of players.
I'm paying you full-time wages for part-time work.
Come on. Look, they asked Rick Barry, because the whole thing was the older guys couldn't play against these younger guys. So Rick Barry says, first off, we didn't have private planes. We didn't have strength coaches. We didn't have nutritionists.
That's right.
We got on a commercial plane.
That's right.
Had to drive miles here.
That's right.
Stay in this. Eat whatever. He said if we had all the things that were available to these people now, we'd wipe these kids out. But it's true.
It is.
I'm like, come on, y'all. They got everything in the world to make them.
And the medicine.
And the medicine to do it. The question is, can these younger guys who have all this stuff make it in an era?
But here's the problem.
They didn't have all that
Here's
stuff.
the problem. They didn't start getting all these crazy injuries. Achilles popping every other day. You didn't hear about that stuff back in the day. So these new exercises, I have to believe they're not giving them foundational strength.
Yep.
So when the seasons are wearing on, their bodies are wearing out.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many Achilles tears.
Yep.
Devastating injuries, knees blown out. When these guys played in Converse.
Yep.
You might as well have been running barefoot down the floor.
Yeah. What's all that? I remember polymetrics, that exercise was the craze.
All that.
But tear your knees up.
Killing them.
Yep.
Hey. Guys was eating greens and kept them healthy.
Yeah.
Tom, what's good hearing from you, man. Please do
Tom.
something about that cough, Tom. I'm praying that God will relieve you of that by the time we talk again next week.
I'm pretty sure.
All right, man.
Take care.
Talk to you. Last but not least, Robin. Hello, Robin. How you doing?
Good morning, Bishop and Pastor Nick. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing great,
How are
girl.
you?
Welcome to On Point
Good.
once again.
Thank you. First, I want to say thank you, Bishop, Pastor Nick, everyone that is pushing Bethany forward more with God. It has really helped me so much.
I'm glad to hear it.
The filter messages, everything. I'm just so thankful where Bethany is headed, and I know more and more is coming.
Yep.
I'm just so filled up. I want to start crying right now, but I can't because y'all, it's really been helping me a lot to grow more in my faith. And I just had to call in right quick to say that.
Appreciate you, Robin.
It's just amazing. I mean, words can't describe. But Bishop, I'm feeling a little down right now.
Okay.
Because I don't understand our country as far as all this money sent to other countries. I'm seeing more and more homeless pushing carts with all their stuff, and it's just heartbreaking. I mean, we have the money, but nothing is being done to help those here in the country. It hurts to see this.
It's a complaint that Pastor Nick and I have had forever. They say there's no new money. but when they want to do something, they can come up with billions of dollars. All I've said for years is that if we've got $90 billion to send to another country, can't we take 9 of those billion, 10 of them, and do something here? If we're sending almost $1 trillion to another country over a 10-year period, can't we solve homelessness here? You know?
Yeah, all these empty buildings they can fix up.
But
give them a
politicians,
place to sleep, train them.
politicians have a phrase that has always aggravated me. When I ask politicians, and I have, about the disparity that I see, you're willing to this, but you're not willing to do that. You got $100 million yesterday for whatever, for military spending, but you don't have $10 billion to cure homelessness. What is the issue? Politicians
I'm seeing more and more.
Politicians have this phrase called a good use of funds. And we've got money for what we want to have it for, and we don't have money for what we don't want to have it for.
Yep.
That's what it boils down to. Because I'm with you, Robin. If I can send, what is it, $90 billion overseas, and then maybe another $100 billion worth of equipment, you mean to tell me I can't solve homelessness, the lack of food, and you don't want me to have health care? Because what's going to happen, Pastor Nick? They're going to help rebuild these countries. But we won't rebuild neighborhoods. It makes no common sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
That American lie that if you live here, you have better advantages over somebody else, so you should be able to pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Well, come on. You got to have boots first.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
You got to have boots.
Keep on.
Come on.
Yeah.
Robin.
I have to. Yeah, Patobe, y'all have a blessed day. Oh,
You too.
I want to ask this question regarding the war right quick.
Okay.
I came across the book of, is it Obadiah?
Obadiah.
Yeah. Does that have anything to deal with what's going on now? I was reading it and I kind of felt it.
All
I
right.
just wanted to ask y'all that.
We'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
All right.
Y'all have a blessed day. Love you guys.
Bye-bye now.
See ya.
Tomorrow's Sunday again, the Lord's Day. It's first Sunday of the month. That means it's Communion Sunday. Oh, Lord, we're going to have a great time.
Yep.
We've got one virtual service, 8 a.m., 2 live services, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. You don't want to miss our 11 a.m. encounter with God. You don't want to miss our communion encounter at 6 p.m. You do not want to miss it. That's when we baptize folk. That's when the new folk are going to be formally engaged in the church. We're going to greet them all with hugs and everything. We're going to have a great time. If you have not participated in our welcoming ceremony and you're a new member of our church, you need to be here tomorrow night at 6 as well as tomorrow morning. You don't want to miss any worship at all. We want you to understand we're no longer requiring vaccinations, but we are still taking precautions to keep you safe while you're here. We want you to remember our midweek services are very dynamic. Our noonday service, largely populated by our 55 and older crowd because they don't like to drive at night, but Pastor Nick is leading a dynamic meeting. I hear the people talking about it, Pastor Nick.
Okay, good.
They're having a tremendous time. Of course, 7 p.m., we're back here again with our Wednesday midweek encounter at 7. Now, if you're interested in receiving news updates from us, we'd love to send you some. All you need to do is text BBC News to 28950. If you want some devotional messages, some uplifting, inspirational messages, you just need to text BBC Elevate to 28950. We love praying with you. All you have to do is send your prayer requests to social@gotobethany.com. We will get them, and then we will join with you in prayer. Subscribe to our David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on YouTube. You want to become a part of our consistency. Also, subscribe to our podcast platforms, DGEMS, DGGEMS, and On Point. And as always, for Pastor Nicholas Smith, I'm Bishop David G. Evans. Remember now, we want to see you tomorrow, 11 o'clock, 6 o'clock. If you're going to be baptized tomorrow, you need to be here by 4:30, right?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock?
Yeah, 5 o'clock. Yeah.
All right, 5 o'clock, so we can get you ready to go in the water, get you settled, get your nerves settled down. Remember now, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. For Pastor Nick Smith, I'm Bishop David G. Evans. We'll see you next time.